Hello everybody, today I want to talk about this upcoming new moon in Leo on August 4th. So I have the chart in front of me. We have the sun and moon together making a sextile to both Jupiter and Mars in the sign of Gemini. Okay, so basically we have an opportunity to really blow shit up. Whether it's your career, your YouTube channel, your social media, we're going to see a lot of new faces and new energy springing up really dramatically. And also the sun and moon are obviously in Leo, trining the North Node, meaning that there will be new opportunities for your soul to evolve, for you to take steps towards your future goals and what you're meant to do in this life. And so it's a great time while the energy is so crazy in this fiery sign of Leo that you take the time to ground your visions, calm down, write everything down, meditate on what it is you want to be doing with your life and your next steps so that you don't get overwhelmed by all this fiery, dominant energy, correct? So also the sun and moon, of course, in Leo, they're on the midheaven. So how you are perceived by the world is going to be very important. We're still in a lot of retrogrades, and so this is a great time to go over your CV, all your profiles, make some updates, some changes, rebrand your existing projects a little bit, make changes to things that already exist that you can build off of later. So we do have some energy in the sign of Virgo, specifically Eros, which is our desire. So yeah, so our creative desire in the sign of Virgo craves perfection, and it's opposite to Saturn because Saturn right now is at 18 degrees of Pisces from what I see on the new moon chart. Yes. So this Eros-Saturn opposition is your complete chaotic, awesome desires versus the structure that is, okay? And Saturn in Pisces is quite uncomfortable, and I think Eros and Virgo can also be a little bit uncomfortable because Virgo is so precise and Eros is like, you know, just concerned with lust. Not only concerned with lust, but is majorly concerned with lust, right? It's really important to note that we have Mercury also in Virgo. So with this being said, it's really important to be precise with how we communicate to the world, and especially while we have Jupiter and Mars in Gemini, which is like the other twin of Virgo. There can be catastrophic gains or losses depending on the ways in which you communicate with people and how precise and exact you are. So saying the wrong thing could potentially lead to a lot of trouble, or even like life or death situation where you need to talk yourself out of something or into something, right? So with that, there's also Venus at 29 degrees, the anorectic degree of Leo. So with Venus in Leo, this is something that we experienced, we've been experiencing. And the thing is, we could experience a change in taste or in how we pursue pleasure, money, our income, our preferences. We could experience big changes in our desire. And especially with that Eros and Virgo, we can get very specific about what it is we crave and desire. So it's important to not go overboard with that. Why? Because Eros is opposite to Saturn, which is bringing restriction, stricter lines, punishment. This Venus and Mercury is also squaring Uranus, which means that this is a bigger emphasis on the sudden changes of how we operate, how we please ourselves, how we seek out income in the world. There's going to be a sudden change, and it's going to feel like hitting a wall, and there's going to be some resistance because you're not used to it, but it's a critical resistance. We're meant to experience this resistance to figure out the next steps forward, and it's not something to be scared of. It's just something that you can recognize. Yeah, I know it's not supposed to feel easy. Basically, as you're figuring out the new way, you're going to have some conflicts, and you're going to need to sit down. And this is why it's super important to stay grounded, like I mentioned. Also, we have the square of Saturn with Jupiter and Mars. So with that, it's very important that you recognize that you have your restrictions in a difficult aspect with your form of expansion and your form of fighting for what you want. So we're experiencing and for me, this is a big collective energy that we're dealing right now. There's a lot of people who all want the same thing, and we're working against certain powers and restrictions that are preventing us from having the world that we desire. And we also have a lot going on with Pluto. Pluto is sextile to Neptune. It's trine Uranus. It is sesquiquadrate Jupiter, trine Mars. And yeah, so this is very good. With Pluto trining Uranus, this means that whatever changes are going to take place are for the best for our evolution, and it's going to permanently alter the way we do things in a very positive manner that allows us to move forward with more wisdom. And with it also trining Mars, we're going to be able to make the changes necessary, so we're not going to get stuck. That's the good news, is we're going to continue moving in the right direction with that energy, and that makes me very pleased. That doesn't mean it's not going to be painful, because at the same time, Pluto is square Chiron at the same time of this new moon. And Chiron is our wounded healer. And so I hope that you are able to hold space for yourself and be patient with yourself as you emotionally catch up to the changes of our world. But in general, I'm very excited for this new moon. Now we're going to go back to the sun sign aspect of this. So with this new moon in Leo, Leo is the focus. We are thinking about theatrics, romance, desires, our good friends, the romance we experience in our lives, the erotic we experience in our lives. And that doesn't just mean with your romantic partner. That means the romance you have towards everything, the romance I experience while eating a mango or while having a deep talk with a good friend. It's the romance of your life, even the journey of your career, or can represent in so many things, right? So with Leo energy, we can feel a little bit more sluggish sometimes because we're really into our passions and we don't have a lot of energy for outside stuff. Because between everything we need to do and then doing what our heart's desire is, we're pretty much exhausted by the end of the day, right? And so like a lion just sleeps a lot of the time and waits for its kill. That's a little bit of the energy. So it's normal to feel very tired during Leo season. And yeah, it's a really good time to just like fall in love with yourself and reignite your desires again so that you can move on and move forward in your relationships with new energy. Last thing before we end this, I want to talk about all the retrogrades to put all of this into context. So take everything I just said and remember that we have Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde, Pluto retrograde, and Chiron retrograde. So these are all really, really dramatic retrogrades. So this is the time when we slow down. So we're reviewing closely our structures, our systems, how we've evolved as humans or how we devolved as humans. We've gone back on our spirituality. We see how we've fallen into traps and psyops spiritually. Also, where our wounds are with codependency and patriarchy and everything. So it's very important to just be patient, continue to review all of those kinds of topics as you face these new desires and visions and new forms of independence, right? So take it easy on yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day. My husband loves to say that. And please enjoy this Leo season. Go out, have a good time, treat yourself, enjoy. See you next time.